Hey, chickies, welcome into today's episode of Mojo Mysticism. Just as we have been doing so far this week, we're going to continue to talk to the stones. So we're going to continue with the Ancient Stones Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. So let's get on into it, shall we? So first card's already out. That was quick. Second card, there it is. Wow, this is fast. No, that's not it. So still on the hunt for card number 2. Okay, what do we need to know? What do all of our guides collectively want us to know? There's card number 2. It meant it that time. And let's see about card number 3. Card number 3. Where are you, honey? Come on out. Card number 3. Yeah, it's taking its time. That's okay. Sometimes I mosey through my days too. So actually there it is. Yes. Okay. Let's see what the stones have to say to us today. Oh my goodness. Okay, well here we go again. So 2 cards that we've already had this week. And I'm just going to make sure I know which ones. I'm pretty darn sure I know which ones. So let's just get to it. Sometimes I take pictures of the cards so I can remember exactly when they came. Ooh, yeah. Okay. So I know that one of them came yesterday, but the other one came, actually 2 of them came yesterday. They were both yesterday. So, okay. So this is really interesting. So the first card that came out is the Holy Mountain again. So if you'll recall, on yesterday's reading, this was the calling, right? So this says soul calling, sacred journey, and pilgrimage. The Holy Mountain. The second card that came out today was the first card that came out yesterday, and this is Energy Rising. And remember yesterday, Energy Rising was really hearkening to that energy that builds up in us and we think we must act on it, and then it says, wait a minute, not yet time, because yesterday we had the Be the Mountain card, which said, no matter what's going on, be steady, it's not time yet. So, but today we have Energy Rising again. So, second card, this says vitality, confidence, power, and decisiveness. Energy Rising. And then the third card we got today is a new card for us this week from the Stones. This card is called The Edge. It says, take a chance, do something different. Take a chance, do something different, be on the edge. So this is the other side of the story, right? Yesterday we had the Energy Rising, the Be the Mountain. So it's not quite yet. Energy's coming, let it ebb and flow, but don't move on it yet because you don't have your Holy Mountain. You don't have your soul calling or that pull to what's next for you. Today we have the other side. So you get the call, right? You understand what your soul calling is. You know what the next step is for you. And that's when these cards pick up. So you get the call, that's your Holy Mountain card. And then when the energy starts to rise, you know that that's moving you in the direction of your soul calling. And it can take you right to the edge where you have to do something different. You have to take a chance, right? This is part of soul calling. We don't usually have soul callings that are just like, comfy. It's not normally a thing. We have soul callings that stretch us. And they stretch us in a myriad of ways. So I'll give you an example from my life this week. So literally today. Actually today, yesterday, and actually let's just call it over the last week so I don't get mired in the details. So what's been going on for me is that I have had what I thought was a money block, right? So that happens from time to time. We kind of hit our upper ceiling of what we can, bring into our lives, because we don't earn money, we make money. So making money is very different than earning it. So it's not about worth and efforting. It's about more about just value that you bring and manifesting it. So we make money, we don't earn money. And I hit a block last weekend. So that's one of them. The second one that I hit was just a feeling of loneliness. And here's what's interesting about this. And I talked to one of my mentors at length about this earlier today. But what's interesting about this is that for many months now, I feel like the only analogy I can really come up with that makes any sense to me is a cattle. So if you've got a herd of cattle, so it's a cattle analogy. And if you have a herd of cattle and you need to separate one from the herd, you're basically, you're usually you're on horseback, at least the movies that I've seen, right? I've not done this. I am not a cowgirl by any stretch of the imagination. I did used to ride though a lot. So, and interestingly, never with cattle though. But when they're trying to pull one of whether it's a calf or a cow, one head of cattle away from the herd, they're cutting into the herd and they're culling out, not calling, they're culling, Culling, out that one head of cattle, right? That one individual. And that is what I have felt like is happening in my life, and I've been perfectly comfortable. Well, I won't say perfectly, but I've been comfortable with it for the most part. And the last, I'm going to say probably 4 days, it started to kind of exhibit itself as a little bit of loneliness, which is really interesting because I normally don't get lonely. And the challenge that has, it's not really a challenge. So it's been accompanied by a period of a lot of travel. I've been around a lot of people. I spoke at a conference on Friday. I was with large groups of people, many of whom I love dearly over the last week, and yet I have felt isolated, almost like I've been culled out of the herd. And again, this has been going on for many months now, probably 10 months, maybe longer. This kind of pulling me away. And it's not like I'm burning my life down or anything like that. Quite the opposite, actually. But that is what has been happening. If you've followed this channel, you've seen it. It's let it go, let it go, let it go, which is messages for all of us and a big message for me, right? So, basically let those things go that aren't serving you. We'll step into what's new. It's been a huge theme on this channel. And this week, it exhibited itself as a little bit of loneliness. And here's the thing. So I have noticed that obviously, as I just mentioned, I've done a lot of travel. It has been tiring to me physically, and I've been out of my routine, right? So let me know in the comments if what I'm about to explain happens to you, right? So we're all human. So even those of us who, are tuned in, tapped in, and turned on to what's going on spiritually, we're still in human bodies. And my body got tired. I got out of my routine for actually a handful of days. And what I found was that it kind of made me a little bit more susceptible to the more shadow side of what was going on, okay? Which is where the loneliness came in. It's also where some really interesting things about abandonment came in, which I now understand that my abandonment issues started many, many lifetimes apart from this one, we'll just say. I'm working on integrating all the parts of me that have been impacted by these ongoing lifetime after lifetime abandonment issues. So it's very interesting work, by the way. But here's the thing. So these things have come up, right? And it's not without understanding that I am at a precipice in my life. Okay, things have fallen away, right? I have big things coming, just as many of you do, right? And that's when our little saboteurs love to come out and play. And especially if we've been traveling, we're tired, we're out of our routine, right? We're maybe, we're still plugged in to spirit and what's going on. But maybe we could have been a little bit more, I'm going to say, disciplined. So for me, that's what it comes down to. Maybe I could have been a little bit more disciplined the last few days. And so, just like you catch a cold, if if you have a weakness towards that virus coming in and you've touched something and you somehow get that into your system, and that old wives' tale too about you'll catch a cold if you don't let yourself get cold, don't go out without a jacket, you'll catch a cold, all those things, right? It's about protecting ourselves. And so when you don't do that to the extent you normally do, and then weird things happen, it's kind of not really that big of a question as to why. Except it is for me, because I guess I just don't get it sometimes. It's like I just go on and on and on. I'm like, oh, look, look what's happening. Like, what is this? I don't even understand. It's like, Molly, you understand. Think about what's been going on the last week. You understand what's happening. So these things tend to happen when we are susceptible to them. But what we're being told today is when you have that soul calling, right? You are in that energy is rising up within you, right? And you're not being told to be the mountain because you already have the calling. You have the holy mountain. You know where you're going. You may not know all the details about how you're getting there. You can be at the edge. And that's where it gets wonky sometimes. And that's where things like what's happened to me this week can happen. I am very, very, very much on the edge of most things in my life. So, and I am being asked to take a big, big chance, right? To put it all on the line. And I've said yes to this thing that's next for me. More on all that later. This YouTube channel is part of it, by the way, but more on that later. I've said yes to it, right? The seas are parting. If you can see that in this card, the seas are starting to part. And I let myself get tired. And I let myself get out of my routine. And I understand why getting rest, especially when you've had the holy mountain, you're in that energy rising, and you're at the edge, why getting that rest and taking care of yourself is so incredibly important. So a lot of my book shift that's coming out, hopefully this year or very first part of next year, a lot of it is to help you not make the mistakes that I made on my journey. And this that I'm sharing with you is one of them. So when you have the holy mountain, that soul calling, you know what that is, and you feel that energy rising, and you're asked to take the chance, jump at it, but take care of yourself while you're doing it. Don't get run down. Take care of your energy, nurture yourself, love yourself, and that being at the edge will be a lot easier to handle. So that's it for today, chickadees. This is Molly's confession time again. So, but thanks for being with us. Thanks for being part of this channel and part of what we're doing here at Mojo Mysticism. I love you all. And we will see you back here tomorrow. Mwah.